Superglue his thing to his stomach while he's sleeping so that he wakes up to a painful surprise. Register his mistress as—
Hey, I'm gonna wake up way before you do that, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wake up and you gonna go to sleep.
Damn! Set your alarm, aren't you hungry?
I don't have a baby daddy, but if I did, here's some things that I'd do to him for shits and giggles. First, I'd write a letter to the bank that he's financing his car through, saying that he's in a period of financial distress and he would like for the bank to take his car back. Hopefully, one day while he's sleeping peacefully or he's at work, they'll show up and they'll repossess his car. Next, I'd pretend to be his wife and call and have all of his utilities shut off. Bonus points if he's already behind on some of his payments, because in order to get his utilities turned back on, he'll have to pay them the money he already owes them and activation fees. If he receives any type of government benefits—
Hey, bro, and then get online and share it. And then have this ironic, pleasant demeanor and ironic smile on her face. You know what I'm saying? You think this was her idea to get up here and say some effed up stuff with a smile on her face? No, she's seen this before. She got this idea from somebody else, bro. This behavior. You think it's cute to smile and be pleasant while you saying some of the most effed up things you could say? Like, that's not cute, bruh.
like health insurance or food stamps, I would call and report him for fraud. This would at least get his benefits paused while he's audited. And if I have some free time on my hands, I'll call and report him as deceased to his bank. He's gonna have such a hard time getting his bank accounts reopened. I think that's enough ideas for right now, but—
And remember, she said this is if she had a baby daddy. She doesn't even have one. Bro, this is stuff that she's saying she would do if she did have one. Like, so this is what you sit down and think about? These are the thoughts you have about something that you don't even have yet? Bro, I don't think she realized, like, you messing yourself up, putting yourself on the internet saying some stuff like this, bro. And you mess with the wrong nigga, this is gonna be the evidence of why you got murked and why he gotta spend the rest of his life in prison.
I'm gonna make a couple more of these videos, so if you have some, drop them in the—
Stop it. Get some help.
The sad part is, someone probably is thinking about doing it. You know how crazy people can get? Look, ma'am. 1. Falsely notifying a bank that an account holder is dead in order to freeze their assets can be classified as bank fraud or wire fraud, and banks require official documentation like a death certificate to process such requests. And providing false information to a financial institution is a serious offense that can lead to criminal charges. 2. Sending a fraudulent letter to a bank to trigger a car repossession involves forgery and fraudulent misrepresentation. This could also make the perpetrator liable for civil damages if the victim loses their vehicle or suffers credit damage. 3. Pretending to be someone's spouse to cancel their electricity or water is impersonation. In many jurisdictions, intentionally cutting off essential services to cause harm or disrupt someone's living conditions can lead to charges of criminal mischief or harassment.
You think a lot of these girls care about any of that stuff? They would gladly go to jail as long as they did everything that they set out to do to make that man's life harder.
Or, sending anonymous emails to HR with false accusations of illegal activity is defamation. If the victim loses their job as a result, the perpetrator could be sued for tortious interference with a contract and substantial monetary damages. Look, I don't want to bore you with all the others. Just know this. These actions carry the risk of both criminal prosecution, meaning jail time, and massive fines. I don't know what made you to say all that, but as a creator, I think all of us should be responsible to what we say.
I don't have a baby daddy, but if I did, here are some more things I'd do to ruin his life just for shits and giggles. I'd send anonymous emails to the HR department of his job, letting them know that he's been doing illegal activities on company time. If this weren't enough, I'd sign him up for a subscription of porn magazines and have them sent to his job. Next, I'd call the IRS and report him for tax fraud. Even if he's not committing tax fraud, they'll at least audit him. Then I'd call his bank and report his debit card as stolen. They'll freeze his account and he won't be able to spend any money. Then I'd use his
Hey,
social security.
to all the women in her comment section that's supporting this, just know that she's the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might like how it sound. It might be funny to y'all. Y'all might think it's all jokes and giggles. But she's the real enemy right now, bro. She's going to be the women that say stuff like this are going to be the reason why collectively men stop trusting y'all, period. You know what I'm saying? Why would I risk all of my assets and my livelihood for a woman? That's what it'll come to, bro. I'm telling you, these are not your friends. These are not your allies. These are your enemies, bro. This is your enemy.
Number to apply for every single credit card that I can think of so that it tanks his credit score with a bunch of hard inquiries. Then I'd have to put his number on his church prayer list saying that he's struggling with a sex addiction. Then I'd put his office phone number and his name on flyers around the city saying that he's looking for discreet hookups. Just call this number. I'm still working on some more ideas, you guys, but if you think of any, definitely let me know in the comments.
Okay, y'all, imagine for 2 seconds if a man hopped on camera and started a DIY tutorial on how to dismantle a woman's entire existence for the plot. The internet would have a collective aneurysm, but here she is, giving us a masterclass in felony adjacent activities like it's a skincare routine. By the way, this video have 2.9 million likes. That is just crazy.
Call his mother's Catholic church and tell them she pressured you into aborting his baby. Superglue his thing to his stomach while he's sleeping so that he wakes up to a painful surprise. Register his mistress as his emotional...
I'm gonna wake up way before you do that, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wake up and you gonna go to sleep.
support animal and send her the registration card in the mail. Wait until he's asleep and zap his head in random spots with the IPL laser hair removal wand for several nights in a row. Sprinkle sugar under the mats in his car and order
And just notice how all of these things are cowardly things to do. Wait until he goes to sleep when he's the most vulnerable. No. You're not brave enough to do it while he's fully awake and conscious. You have to wait until he goes to sleep. You fucking coward.
ant farm off of Amazon and release the ants into his vehicle. Convince his grandmother that he's trying to dump her into a nursing home so that he can keep her social security checks. Kidnap his cat. Put sewing needles right side up in his mattress. Invite his entire family over for dinner without telling him, and then give him a Viagra and send him into the shower and tell him you have a special surprise for him when he gets out, and have him walk out butt naked into the dining room where his family's seated. And if you're feeling extra revenge level petty, sleep with his best friend.
I can already tell some dumb person is...
I can't lie. Even after all of the evil shit she said to do, that last one, sleep with his best friend, for some reason I feel like that would make you more angry than any of those things, bro. Even the family Viagra moment. You know what I'm saying? And that's not, can you even say that's your best friend? I don't know, bruh. I don't know. I never had that problem. If I had a girl and I had a homeboy and they both snaked me behind my back, I never had to deal with that. But I don't know. That just seems like the most evil one out of all of them. I couldn't tell you why, bro.
going to jail for this.
Signed him up for the Navy. Put his address down for every single Jehovah's Witness outreach that I could find. Made a Facebook Marketplace ad with his address saying that he's giving away a free...
Bro, these are things she's saying she's doing to somebody that doesn't even exist, bro. She said at the beginning she doesn't even have a baby daddy, bro. So who is she talking about?
TV. Just knock. Don't call. Reported his IG, Facebook, and Tinder pages. Texted him a link for a quiz to determine whether or not
And then too, baby daddy means y'all share a child, which means if you're doing stuff to make his life more difficult, you're making your life more difficult by default. And your child's life more difficult. Like, what sense does that make, bro? Why would you put the father of your child through all of these things? Like, how is this gonna help get what you ultimately want? or ultimately need. Yeah, that don't mean I gotta be together, but like if that's the father of your child, you still need him to be some kind of presence in your child's life. Why would you make that harder? You know what I'm saying? I never had children before, so I don't know, but I can imagine that both parents that want to be in the child's life would make it as easy as possible for each other to be in the child's life, right? Or am I wrong? Am I tripping? I don't know, man.
Narcissist. Sent him a glitter bomb, sent his mom a condolences card for raising him, put him on a Scientology mailing list, changed his Netflix settings to Mandarin and put a parent control lock so that he can't change it. I signed him up for every single MLM webinar that I could find so they'll never leave him alone. Ordered every single free Bible that I could find on the internet and had them sent to his house. Signed him up for an anger management course with a note saying he's not ready to admit it yet. Registered him as a prison pen pal. And booked a consultation at 2 different vasectomy clinics and gave them his phone number. I don't know, y'all. I'm kind of out of ideas for this month. So if you have any more, I'm open.
You know what? I'm going to start being mean. If she's got enough mental bandwidth to coordinate a multi-agency federal sting operation against her ex, why hasn't she used that same energy to coordinate a 30-minute date with a treadmill? Huh?
Dump out his entire bottle of Viagra and replace it with Advil PM. They look the same. Arrange for an adult movie to be filmed.
Why she keep talking about Viagra? What niggas are you messing with, bro? You messing with old niggas? Hey, look, bro. There's no shade. There's no shade. I just always thought Viagra was for older men, bro. Maybe it's not. You know? Maybe that's what the honey packs are for. I don't know.
At his workplace, and when they show up, make sure they inform his employer that he gave permission for the whole thing to go down. Put Gorilla Glue
and then too, that one she said earlier about giving him Viagra, inviting his family over, and making him walk out the shower butt naked. It would be shocking for everybody in the moment, but after all the shock goes away, they're gonna turn and look at you and be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna come to the conclusion that you set this up. And now you made yourself the enemy. You know what I'm saying? All of these things can only backfire on the person that does these things.
All right, I'm tapping out. I've seen enough. Usually, I'd be over here wheezing and laughing, but this is just, it's a tragedy in 4K. My heart is actually breaking, and not in the cute way. I know people that have spent enough time.
What is a cute way to get your heart broke, Nick?
Working in foster care system, and I recognize this. Look, it's that middle school energy where you're so desperate to sit at the cool table that you'll say literally anything. She's giving 7th grader trying to impress the mean girls behind the gym vibes, but she's doing it with federal crimes. Anyway, that's all the chaos I can handle.
All right, cool. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments, man. All he have to do is show everyone this video. Did she not think about her own life? Be safe. Enjoy your day, everyone. None of this will work because you will actually need physical proof for all of this predatory behavior. What a helpful little psychopath. I do hope that anyone caught following her tips mentions where they got the idea from. What extreme measures of bitter women makes just too many... Hold up. What extreme measures of bitter women makes just to make a man's life hell, either because bitter women got dumped or their ex had moved on with another woman, especially if the new woman is either better looking or the new woman treats the ex better. That was a tough read, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. This shit made me sound like I was struggling. She has all this time to ruin a man's life who is taking care of the kids. Definitely not her. Yeah, but look, man. Y'all like the video. L-I-K-E, like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all be safe. I'm out.
Bruh, you recording?
There's some real shit going on outside. And we in here talking about bullshit.